high school football week number 4. Hard to believe we are 4 weeks in. Let's take a look at another matchup as the Clarke County Eagles travel to face Warren County. Last week, the Eagles defeated Buffalo Gap 35-22. Now joining me, the head coach of the Clarke County Eagles, Casey Childs. And coach, this was a close matchup last week against Clarke and Buffalo Gap. It seems like Clarke sort of pulled away, extending the lead in the second half. But what stood out to you most about your team and their will to fight and get this victory?
Well, I mean, it was just a different style of football than what we've had to play the first couple of weeks. We were seeing some spread oriented teams, and then even in the scrimmages in the first 2 weeks, and then obviously Buffalo Gap presented a whole different level of opponent because they were also undefeated, and they run the Apopka single wing, and we run the Princeton version of the single wing. So we knew that it was going to be a limited possession game, and that when you had your opportunities with the football, you had to take advantage of them because it could be a while before you get it back, just based on the style of play that both teams like to do. So we were happy with it. I mean, we got up, 3 scores in the fourth quarter, and we were able to just make big plays, and then we gave some yards up on the ground, but we were able to make plays when we had to. So overall, it was a good win against a very quality opponent in Buffalo Gap.
And the differential of yardage outscoring a Buffalo Gap 356 to 216. Do you think that was in part of how they ran their single wing in comparison to yours, or what did you see there?
No, I don't know if it was any kind of comparison. I do think that we were just able to create big plays, and within our offense, we probably had five runs of over 25 yards. And we were able to we scored every time we had the ball. The only time we didn't, we were actually getting ready to score, and we fumbled into the end zone for a touchback. So really, that was 7 points that we should have had too. So offensively, I thought we were really, really good, and defensively, we made them actually have to earn every yard. We never get 4 yards, 3 yards, 7 yards. We never gave up that great big run, and it's hard to put together 12 to 15 play drives to score. It's hard at any level to do that, and that's what we really turned them into doing, and we were able to get a stop when we needed to get stops.
So Clarke County offensively, we know a lot of different players can hold the football and do good things. So it just through 4 weeks, maybe a couple players that have stood out to you that have been performing pretty well in your mind.
Oh, I think that when you look at our skilled kids, every one of our skilled kids have been around and been on the field since their sophomore year, and have started and played significant roles. And then, of course, Carson Chen has been starting since he was a freshman. So when you have those kind of quality kids as your skilled kids coming back, leading into this year, we knew we'd be very athletic and that we would be able to cause some issues with our skilled kids up front. We lost pretty much our entire line last year, other than Saya, and then Carson Chen at tight end. But and those two guys are obviously tremendous players. But one of the guys that's really, really, he is just he's taken on and taken off is Brady McDonald. He's just been a really, really solid player for us at our inside tackle on our offensive line. And then he's gotten significant amount of playing time on the defensive front as we try to rotate those guys, because we do play a lot of kids both ways. But he's just a kid that really, really has blossomed into this year, and we're really, really excited to see where he's at. And saying that too, we had a kid, Cam McCarty, had a really good game. He's in the rotation piece on the defensive line, and he had a half a sack and had a couple tackles for losses as well. So those two kids, other kids I've talked about throughout the week, but those two kids have really, really, really have come along, and we're just really happy to see where those guys are at. And of course, Zach Haggerty at line, he's in wide order, and Joseph Stem, Ryan Hanley. I can't say enough about those guys, because what we've been able to do offensively through 3 weeks with an entire pretty much revamped line. So, my hat goes off to those kids because they've done a tremendous job.
So traveling down to Warren County, sort of what is the scout? What are you seeing from them? And sort of the message to your team 4 weeks in, still haven't lost a game. I'm sure practice is still upbeat. And Everybody's getting along pretty well, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, going into the Warren County week, it's another road game, which would be our third one in 4 weeks. And, and Warren County certainly has weapons in Gavin Dotson. He's just a tremendous player, and they put him all over the field where he's a receiver sometimes, running back sometimes. And then he also plays some quarterback as well. Number one, Blaze Scoop is another kid that has looked really impressive on film. But with those things being said, though, that it's been a tale of the films we've got to break down. It's in one game they've been more of a pro eye kind of offense, and then the next game they were more of a spread type personnel. So really not sure what exactly we're going to get on Friday, but we're preparing. I know they're trying to get Dotson more and more involved and putting him in the backfield as a quarterback and letting him try to make plays with his legs. So I'm pretty pretty sure that's going to be the staple of what they're trying to do as well. But anytime you're on the road, it's a tough contest, and but we're looking forward to it. And hopefully, we get through this one, and then we have a bye week next week to everybody to catch their breath. But there's no time to relax for us as coaches or for the kids. We've got a big road game coming up.
Once again, Clarke County as they travel down to Warren County, part of week 4 action in high school football. As always, the head coach of the Clarke County Eagles, Casey Childs, joining me. Coach, as always, really appreciate your time, sir.
Appreciate having me. Thank you.